Far from the crowded room, you played my heartstrings. What could I do? Caught by the light in you, the prospect of something new, too good to be true. We were so young and free, a beautiful symphony, no time to deceive. Now all the love has gone. We traded our innocence, tried to stay strong.
Hey there, I'm Mia, your next irresistible obsession. Welcome to Tangled Heartstrings, where I'll be your captivating and brutally honest host. Joining me is my sultry co-host, Ashley.
Hey there, everybody. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm so excited to be here and share some of my personal experiences that might help you navigate the dating world. And from across the pond, we have the lovely Sophia.
Hello everyone, I'm Sophia, but my friends call me Tinkerbell. Tangled Heartstrings is here to help navigate the world of dating, love, loss, and everything in between. We'll also take live calls, give advice. Let's untangle some of those heartstrings.
Love. What constitutes love? We give it so many names. We say, I care for you, you're my person, you're my human. But what does it all mean? What is love? I've been trying to figure that out for a very long time. And, I think it comes back to the true start of everything is how do we define our relationships? What makes a friend a friend? When is a family member no longer family? When is love love? And where do you start with that love? So before dating apps and dating coaches and guides, dating required like charm and strong nerves. And I came across this Reddit post from a 29-year-old woman. And it said, 29 female here who hasn't been on a date in years. It seems people just want to be antisocial or they only want to be friends. So I wanted to kind of discuss people being antisocial or not wanting to be friends or not wanting or just wanting to be friends, not wanting to really define what things are. I think it kind of comes down to people not wanting to have hard conversations or direct conversations. So what do you guys think about all that?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sophie.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, love and dating's not easy as it is, but with everything that happened, it just made it that 10 times harder to communicate, especially with you said people are scared to hurt people's feelings. Personally, I'll say it how it is because it saves face of in the future you struggling with that person because they don't understand that that conflict is upsetting you and you're letting it because you're not opening yourself up and telling them there and then, look, I don't like this, or I think we should do this or change this. So it's best to be open and honest.
I agree. Open and honesty is like the number one thing in any relationship that you're going to be in. You need to be honest with your kids. You need to be honest with your parents. You need to be honest with your significant other, and you need to be honest with the people around you. If you're not honest, then you're going to create a situation where you're not going to be happy in your own life. So it's important to be honest, open, and tell them how you feel. Tell them that maybe this isn't going to work out if you don't think it's going to work out, and then move on with your life.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that the honesty piece is difficult for people because number one, they don't want to hurt other people's feelings. And number two, it requires vulnerability. If you're going to be honest with someone about how you're feeling, like you're talking about conflict, Sophia, if you're going to be honest with, hey, this reaction hurt my feelings or this action made me feel really weird, you're really putting yourself out there and you're really risking them rejecting you or thinking that you're too much or having some sort of opinion. And so it really is hard for a lot of people to be vulnerable.
It's just the way you talk about it, really. You've got to word it in a way where you don't come across as you're being sort of controlling and saying you have to do this. You need to have a mediation. You need to resolve it and talk like grown adults instead of like bickering between each other. I want this, I want that. You're just coming on ultimatum and you work through it together. Whether the other person's like that or not, that's up to them. But if they are not that type of person that can be that way, then they're not the person you want to be with, because that just shows they are the manipulative and controlling person if they don't want to sit and have an adult conversation with you calmly.
Yeah,
Yes, being calm in the situation is important too, but getting your point across is super important in the situation too. So don't ever feel that you need to pull back on how you're saying something if you feel that that is the correct way to say it. Let's take, for example, let's say you guys are in a relationship with somebody and this person is trying to get you to change because that's the way that they want you to be. That's not okay. And you shouldn't change for anybody else, but you shouldn't ask people to change for you. If that person is not the person that you're looking for, don't ask them to change either. Just move on and move forward.
yeah.
You don't
I
want to
think
waste your time or theirs.
Yeah. I think there's a big difference too between asking someone to change a behavior that's hurtful versus asking them to change who they are. Like I've experienced people that just don't like that I'm friendly and talkative. That's who I am. I can't change that. But if somebody said, hey, you did this thing, it hurt my feelings, them being honest and vulnerable, I might say, oh my gosh, I had no idea that hurt your feelings. Like that is something that is a behavior change that I can change. But you're absolutely right, Mia. Like we go in wanting people to change to fit the mold that we have for them. And they do the same for us instead of finding someone that we are actually compatible with.
Agreed. 100% agreed. All right, love. What is it? How do you know what love is? I have been blessed. I feel that I know what love is. I've been blessed. I mean, really. I've been married now for almost 24 years. I know that's forever, forever. And my husband is amazing. But that's not to say that we haven't had our ups and downs. But we've landed on top more than the most. But you know what? To me, that is love.
Yeah, well, kind of when it hits you, I'll let you know. I'm still trying to figure all that out.
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about love. It's a word that carries a ton of weight, but it means different things to everyone, and it has different meanings in and of itself. So let's unpack what love means. I think about love like love. You can love your new shoes. You can love pizza. You can love your grandma, your children, your partner. But thinking in terms of like romantic love, to me, love is number one, in no particular order. Number one, it's a feeling. It is a care and a feeling that we have for people. But number two, it's also an action. Sometimes you don't feel in love, or you don't feel like loving that person, and you have to choose to show them love instead of just doing what you feel like, which I think we all have times that we don't feel like loving our person, right?
And that's coming from somebody that's been married for so long. There are days that we don't necessarily, it's not that we don't love each other. We're not in love that day.
Yes.
Let's say that. We're not in love that day. So let's shift. Let's talk about our love. What defines love for you? And give me an example.
For me, like, to be truly loved is to be truly known. And so it is somebody seeing me as I am. Like, for example, I shared about being friendly and talkative, and people in my past maybe not liking that about me. So to me, being truly loved means that they see me for who I really am, all of my flaws, everything from my past, and they accept me as I am, and they love me for it. And they delight in the things that make me me. So instead of being annoyed that I make friends with the people that we're sitting next to at a hockey game, or instead of being frustrated that I talk to the cashier at the grocery store, I think that being loved is somebody who delights in those things about me, somebody who sees, characteristics that define me as a person, and they say, gosh, that is amazing. I love that about her. So that's what I think is somebody who just delights in me and really sees me.
Yeah, it's that feeling where you can't live without that person, and every little thing, like you said, every little thing they do, it makes you smile, it makes you so happy, and you just couldn't imagine life without it. And just the thought of them not being there makes you just your heart wrench, and you feel like there's no other person out there for you, and this is your person, your soulmate, and you're meant to live the rest of your life with this person. And it's like you said as well, it's all about the actions, not the words, because the word love can get thrown around so easily, but it's really in the actions that you see the love.
Actions. Speaking of actions, what actions show love? Is it buying you something at the store coming home? Or maybe it's greeting you when they walk in the door, and that's the first thing they have to do, and that's how you feel loved. Maybe it is making you dinner because you've had a stressful day, or helping you pick up. It doesn't matter, because it's all of the little things that add up and make it love.
Yeah, I agree. For me, it's not materialistic things. So I would rather, like good morning, beautiful text in the morning, just know they're thinking about you. Or let's go have a date night, you know, get the children watched. Or if you haven't got children, let me take you out so we can spend some quality time together, just me and you. It's the little appreciations of everything that you do for them as well. So like the thank yous, that I appreciate you, and just reminding you every day that they love you and that they only want you, and they've got to make you feel like that too as well.
I think also like it's important to keep in mind that people give and receive love in different ways. So like I have someone close to me who is not a physical touch person at all. She's like, don't touch me. But her husband is like, I want to hug you. I want to hold you. I want to, hold your hand. And she has to do those things to a point to show him love. It's not natural to her. It's not something that she needs, but she loves him. And so he'll hug her and she'll hug him back because that's her way of showing him love, even though it doesn't come natural to her. And so, a good morning text might seem silly to someone else, but to people like us, we're like, I love a good morning, beautiful text. And so yes. So it's also about like, when you're with somebody, loving them in the way that they relate to, that's meaningful to them.
Right. Because everybody has their own love language. Now, we've addressed what love means and how we feel loved. Let's switch up a little bit and let's talk about red flags and how we know to avoid the toxic love.
Ooh.
I have been through many red flags, and for some reason I tended to dart towards them, but I finally to dart away from the red flags. A red flag would be, I've been through so many different situations, a form of control, so secluding you from friends, family, that's a red flag. Changing attitudes in front of friends, that's a big red flag. Just no respect for you whatsoever, and the saying I'm busy doing this, but really you know where they are, you know what they're doing, and they're texting other people and you can see it happening, stuff like that.
Social media.
Yeah, aggressive, controlling, like you can't go there, what you doing, sit down kind of thing. Yeah.
I think also,
Ashley, what are some red flags for you?
for me, it is when I can't be myself around other people around them, because there's like multiple versions of like us. And so sometimes I'll be with someone and I'll feel like I'm being my authentic self. But then when I'm around them and my family, I realize, oh, there's this whole side of me that they haven't seen. And when that starts to come out, you get those reactions like you're talking about, Sophia, like the controlling or the scowling or like, why would you say that? And then you just realize, oh, I can't actually be my real self around this person. So that's a really big red flag for me. Another one is like jealousy and insecurity. I have a lot of male friends. I'm in an industry for my job that is predominantly male, and networking is a huge part of my job. And so having a partner that is not comfortable with me communicating with men, to me, that's a red flag. And there might be women that are fine with that. But to me, that's like, I want to control who you talk to. I am going to be jealous of I'm going to read every interaction as being flirty, even when it's not. And I'm just like, I'm just a friendly person. Arguably, I am more flirty with women than I am men, and I'm straight. I purposely turn down the charm for men so it doesn't come off as flirty. And so if my partner's interpreting it that way, it really is rooted in their own jealousy and insecurity. And I'm like, that is your issue to deal with. It is not my job to work through your insecurity because I'm not doing anything wrong. That's a you thing.
Yeah, I feel that. Trust me, I feel that.
Jealousy is a big thing, and it's not only a big thing in the dating world. It's a big thing in marriages. It's you know, I don't know how to address it. Some people find it difficult for their husbands to be friends with other women when they're married. And I don't think that that should be an issue. And jealousy plays a big part. I lost a lot of guy friends when they got married. And it was kind of devastating for me because I had a lot of guy friends, but now that they're married, I don't have any. And it's kind of sad because I enjoy hanging out with men more than I do women for the fact that I'm not your typical woman. I don't like to go out and hang out at bars and go dancing and do all of it. I'd rather sit at a bar and drink a glass of whiskey and have a conversation. So when jealousy plays a part in a dating relationship and then you continue that dating relationship and move it on to marriage, it's just never going to work.
So how to handle them from personal experience, just saying, run. Run from them. Do not go towards them. Run. Oh God.
Honestly, too, like if somebody thinks, say that you're a woman and you think that your husband can't have a woman as a friend, that is you're basically putting on your husband that they view all women as sexual objects or vice versa. And like the thing is, so the person that I dated thought that I can't honestly have these guy friends because everybody's trying to sleep with me. And I'm like, there might be people trying to sleep with me, but not everybody's trying to sleep with me. And if you think that they are, then all I am is a sexual object to you. And you think that all men view me that way. And you can't understand that men might view me as a person who is smart and has empathy and is kind and someone that they just want to be in their life just because I have value as a human. And so the whole jealousy thing and not letting people have friends of the opposite sex, to me is problematic because it like dehumanizes me. And then what do you do if you're a gay person in a relationship? So if two women are in a relationship, they just can't have any female friends either. What if you're bisexual? You can't have any friends? Like,
Oh my.
Oh my God, yes, preach. Honestly, it's so true. I lost so many guy friends. I even had a gay best friend from school that I found was blocked on Facebook one day because my partner had went on and blocked him.
Oh wow.
It was gay. But because he asked me out in school 8 times and I declined, he thinks that I can all of a sudden turn him not gay anymore.
I don't think it works that way.
No, it doesn't. So, yeah, red flag. Big one.
So you ran from that one, right?
Oh, 100%. It took some time, but I ran. It took a lot of lessons, a lot of learning, but I'm grateful for them lessons because now I know what to watch out for and not what to not run towards to.
To run towards to not away from.
It's like this one time at band camp.
Really?
What you're doing there.
I was just talking about this one experience I had with this guy. He
Yeah, girl, we hear you.
So red flags. Are we going to run towards them, ladies, or are we going to run away from them?
Oh wait.
Away.
Sometimes I feel like a bull and I just want to run towards it just to see what happens.
No matter what they look like, run far away.
Yeah, it's not good advice. Don't try it.
Right? That is insane. So, now that we've learned about red flags, what are some positive things that are good attributes in a relationship?
That's a hard one. That's a hard one.
Oh,
Well,
I have a whole list.
If
What I
you
would
had the perfect specimen in front of you,
I'm just
what
dipping
would it
my
look
toes back
like?
in the pond at the minute, but I would say someone that's very honest, very loyal, um, quite loving, and has like a caring nature. I'd like someone basically like me, but at the minute I'm thinking there's nobody out there like me right now.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, like why do I care so much and nobody else does? What's going on? Am I the only one?
Yeah, I literally am looking for the male version of me because I think I'm amazing. Um, but honestly, like compatibility is huge. And I think that people underestimate that. I think like they do look for those good attributes on paper, and sometimes they try to force things that don't really fit because they're like, well, he's nice, or you know, he's a good person. I've even known people who had just no like romantic or sexual attraction or chemistry that tried to like force it to work because they're like, well, he's good to my kids and he helps pay for things. And I'm like, no, like you've got to have chemistry, you've got to have compatibility. You have to, for me, like people can make it work. You know, the example I shared, one person's not touchy, the other one is. If you discover that and you're in a relationship, like you can find ways to make that work. I don't want to make that work. If you don't naturally meet my needs in the ways that I need, then I don't want to do it. I need words of affirmation, I need quality time, and I need physical touch. I like gifts, but I don't need them. I like people who do things for me, but I don't need it. I can do things for myself. So for me, like, don't underestimate compatibility. If they're a good person, they're really nice, they're attractive, but you are not compatible, you're not going to be fulfilled. So just move
Yeah.
along.
That's all very true, and like you said, there has to be, that's big importance for me. Sexual chemistry has to be sexual chemistry as well, and definitely compatibility as well. You need to be attracted not just to the person's appearance, but their personality and who they are. Otherwise, it's not going to work. If you're just attracted to looks, then it's just going to go terrible, absolutely terrible, because you've got to love them for who they are and who they perceive themselves to be, and you've got to support them in everything they want to be and want to do, and vice versa. It has to be very much a mutual sort of a treatment, like a mutual treatment. You put him on the throne, he puts you on the throne. There's no above or below. These are equal.
Yeah. Plus, looks fade for most people, depending on how much money you have for how much work you can do. But at the end of the day, like who they are and how they make you feel about yourself is
Yeah,
what's going to matter in the long run.
I agree.
You guys have a lot. Mine is gifts. It's 100% gifts and dates. Like it's very important to make sure here. I'm trying to see how I want to phrase this. It's very important to make sure that you are showing the person that you're with in their love language. So mine is dates, mine is gifts, and it's important that I do those things. And when I don't do those things, then I feel unloved, and that's not okay. So it's very important to make sure that you're telling that other person that that's what you need too.
Yeah.
Very important. So let's talk about dates.
Conversation and vulnerability and all that.
Right. So let's talk about dates. What is your dream date? If you had your dream date with your dream, we'll say guy or girl, what would that be?
I would have to say I love the beach. It's my calm place. I feel very like at peace at the beaches with the water and the sand in between your toes. So I think like a nice candlelit picnic on the beach at night, and then a dip in the sea and walking along the beach, you know, chasing each other, having a bit of fun. Stuff like a nice little picnic blanket and food. That's my perfect date.
That's so sweet.
I wasn't thinking that, but now I want to steal that. That sounds
Next date idea.
wow. I think of the man greeting me at my door with my favorite coffee to start the day, and just having surprises for me. You know, it could be taking me to lunch somewhere that I've never been. It could be going to the beach. It could be just going to a park I've never been to. I feel like when I was married, I got into this rut where I didn't try new things or do new things, and I just kind of stopped living. And so I just really want to live and experience new things. So I don't care as much what we do but for the perfect date for me would be him taking me to do something that I've never done or go somewhere that I've never gone.
A new experience. I love those dates, and we do those a lot. But my favorite is totally stargazing late at night when it's a little bit cooler, because he doesn't like the heat, but I do. I love it. But just laying there on the ground and looking up at the stars and trying to take pictures that will never, ever be exposed correctly.
Nope.
That's why I said the beach at night, but in the summer only, because like you, I love the heat.
Me too. Those both sound wonderful, and I'm going to tuck those in my back pocket for future date ideas if I ever date again.
Unless you forget the lake. You have to go fishing at the lake.
Sometimes it's for a date to be unexpected, so it's just get dressed, we're going here, this is what we're going to do, and it's a big surprise.
Yeah.
Just him taking control of what's going to happen in the date, and you being completely surprised, not knowing what's going to happen.
I love that. Just tell me how to dress. Like, do I need to wear sneakers and comfy pants, or do I need to wear heels and a dress? Like, what's the vibe? Just handle it. Yes, please.
Yeah.
What was he taking you shopping for that dress before the date?
That sounds amazing. That's even better.
Yes, are good.
See, now I'm getting so many ideas of what I want my future partner to do for me.
Yes, gifts are good. So he takes you out shopping, and then you go on the date. I think that sounds perfect.
Never expect anything less than your worth.
That's right.
Yeah.
For sure.
When you're looking, just don't expect anything less than what you are worth.
Yep.
And always know that you're worth more than you think you are, too.
Yeah. 100%.
Well, I think that we treat other people better than we would treat ourselves or accept for ourselves. And so I try to tell myself the love that I would give to someone else is the same love that I deserve.
Yeah, you deserve to love yourself just as much as you would someone else. So you need to, like I said, you don't need to be above or below, you need to be level.
Yep. Perfect.
Agreed. I totally agree with that. So we've talked about love, what it means to us, how we define love. We've talked about red flags, what they are, and how to stay away from them. How far to run, Sophie?
How fast to run?
How fast to run? As fast as you can.
Mile.
Speedy Gonzalez.
Like you say, bold.
Do you guys have, I gotta know, do you have Speedy Gonzalez over in the UK? Sophia, do you know who that is? You do.
Yeah. So,
I didn't know if he was world known or not.
yeah, my mom used to always say, bloody hell, you at that like Speedy Gonzalez.
We've talked about love and what it means to us. We've talked about dates and where we would like to see ourselves go.
Yeah.
But we haven't talked about a hard subject. The bad relationship, the toxic relationship.
Oh, not this one.
The toxic relationship. Actually, what do you think a toxic relationship means?
I think a toxic relationship is one where there's never any resolution. And so you try to talk through conflict, and one of two things happens. Either number one, you're met with complete silence and you're trying to resolve it and the other person isn't. And it's like you've hit a wall, which I have experienced. And another is that the conversation keeps going, but it keeps going in circles. And so you're saying, this is how I feel. And they're saying, but this, and this. And then you're saying, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. What I meant was this. And you want to be met with clarity, but instead you get, but this, and this. And it just keeps going back. And I would be in a situation where I'm like, okay, they're not understanding because I'm not explaining it correctly. So I would explain the same thing 3 or 4 different ways. And I just would keep being met with the same statement, the same. And it's like, this is not productive. There's no resolution. We're just going in circles. And you can talk for 2 hours about the same thing and reach no resolution. So that's toxic for me. Thankfully, I've never been in like a physically abusive situation or anything like that. I've just been in like emotional manipulation that I'm like, why are we doing this?
I mean, I was, from personal experience, 10 years in a very, very bad relationship. There was physical abuse, emotional, and sexual abuse.
Oh.
And it was honestly the worst time of my life. I mean, I wasn't just controlled with friends, family, I was controlled financially. I was controlled in what I did for my children, what I did for my home, everything that I did. I wasn't allowed to go out with friends. I was constantly just housebound and had to be this person that he wanted me to be. So I was like a puppet and he was my puppet master. So like you said, it's very much narcissism, manipulation, control and behaviour. And luckily he's gone. The police removed him. Took 10 years, but I finally got out. But yeah, it's just a bad relationship is just not knowing who you are. You're just completely this person that you don't even recognise. You're the person this other person wants you to be. And you do everything they say. And you think that's normal because they have you so beaten down and manipulated into you thinking, yeah, that is normal. This is with the way every relationship's going to be. And when you try to escape, they tell you that there's nothing else out there for you. Your dream of this, knight in shining armor isn't true. This is how a relationship's supposed to be. And you're completely blindfolded. But when that blindfold comes off, you're like, shit, wow. What the hell was that?
You're like, how did I deal with that for that long?
You're finally like, oh, like I didn't even know what I'd never heard of manipulation or narcissist or anything like that. But when I started to like realize little things, I done a lot of searches on Google, and a lot of it matched up with narcissism and manipulation and control. And I was like, oh my God, I need to get out. What is going on?
And you did. You got out. And it's possible for everyone else that is in the same situation and you feel like you are being manipulated, you are being controlled, you don't have to say.
You don't.
Thank you guys, everyone, for joining us tonight for our very first episode of Tangled Heartstrings. I'm so excited that you guys were here and joined us. I'm so happy that Ashley and Sophie were here to join me and that we could bring so much information to you. So until next time, and we see you again, thank you for joining us on Tangled Heartstrings.
See you next time, all. Bye.
Bye, guys. Yeah.
Love you all.